and stop right there. What do we have here? Taking a bit of an evening stroll here on the beach. I'm sure you are. I've seen plenty like you recently. You have the looks of a hardened criminal, that's for sure. And I'm not easily fooled. Who am I? As if you don't know. You rocket grunts get smarter and smarter every single time I arrest one of you. Well, as if I need to go ahead and introduce myself, I am Detective Boone. I head up the Rocket Criminal Investigation Department here on R&R Beach, and you have been caught in my crosshairs. Yes, I see poachers like you constantly lurking about, up to no good, no doubt. Right. Let's go ahead and see that trainer identification. What do you mean you don't have it? Ah, you don't carry it in your board shorts. I bet. How convenient. Right. So what did you say you do again? A Pokemon trainer. Right. I'm sure you are. Yes, we get plenty of those around here. Sure. But not like you. You have the looks of a criminal, and a petty one at that. So, it looks like we will be conducting a full investigation. I'm going to need you to come over with me to the precinct there and meet with myself and one of our deputy detectives, and we'll get to the bottom of who you are exactly. You'll answer a series of questions, and if you are a true Pokemon trainer, then you'll have no issue answering them, and you'll no doubt prove your innocence. But if not, well, you will join the rest of the Rocket scum that we've apprehended recently, and I have no doubt that that's exactly where you'll end up. No need trying to convince me. I've heard it all before, and it won't work on someone like me. So, right this way, the building on the edge of the dunes there. Not to worry, we will be performing a strictly professional and regulated interrogation process. Right this way. I'm refusing to speak first, if you hadn't noticed. Usually that's about the time that you would say something. But I can see this might be a long night. I'd like to introduce to you my partner. This is Detective Shellsworth. He's been working the R&R Beach for some time, so I'd do your best not to get on his bad side. It's a bit of a good cop, bad cop routine. So I would suggest being as truthful with me as possible. That way, Detective Shellsworth doesn't have to get involved. So why don't we start right back up where we left on the beach? What would someone like you be doing, finding themselves walking alone on the beach on a beautiful evening like this? Don't you think it's a bit suspicious? Is that so? I'm sure you were. Well, we've been getting a lot of answers like that recently, so I'm not surprised. What do you think, Shellsworth? No, me neither. We're not buying it. So why don't you go ahead and start being honest with your intentions, with your purpose here on our fine beach. Well, if that's how it's going to be, then I guess you can leave us no choice but to go ahead and continue with the questioning. So this is going to work. We see scumbags like you all the time walking the beach, thinking that they can just do whatever they'd like and throw a shell, a rock in the beach here, in the water here and there, pick up a nice little shell, put it in their pocket. We know the type. Shellsworth and I see this all the time. And just someone who looks just like you. We see Team Rocket in this area quite often, and they usually look the part. They act completely harmless, innocent, and lo and behold, we almost never find incriminating evidence, but that's how we know we got the right one. So let's go ahead and get started. This is how it's going to work. We're going to ask you a series of questions that only a real Pokemon trainer would know, and a lowly rocket grunt would no doubt get tripped up on. So this line of questioning has been created specifically by Detective Shellsworth himself, so I can assure you it's quite effective and quite difficult for an imposter to master. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we allow minimal mistakes with our readings. So we're going to hook up a bit of a lie detector of sorts. Not to worry, no harm will befall you, possibly. And the first thing that we're going to use is a bit of a pulse ox. This is just going to be clipped onto your finger like so, and it's going to help us read any increases that are no doubt going to occur with your pulse. Why would someone like you be nervous in a situation like this? Why would someone who has nothing to hide feel a bit anxious in this kind of scenario or environment? Let me tell you what the answer is. They wouldn't. Someone who has nothing to hide would feel absolutely at ease right now, comfortable and maybe even a bit drowsy, and that would be something that we would expect to notice. But typically when we bring miscreants in here, they get a bit nervous because they are guilty. So we are going to use this pulse ox to clip onto a finger. It's going to have a steady reading of that pulse, and we will know when you are being deceitful because we'll see a spike in the pulse. So which side would you care to have it on? Right or left? Which one do you think you can fool us with the best? All right, the right one. Please index finger out like so. We're just going to have you spread the fingers, drop, and just have the index finger out. Thank you. And there we are. Now, in case you thought that all it takes to get away with your crimes is to trick the pulse ox and keep your heart rate steady, I assure you, it won't be that easy. We have a few foolproof methods here. These nodes will be hooked to each side of your head, right here near the temples, and these are going to help us ensure that any brainwaves that have indications of deceit or hiding of information are noticed and picked up by our scanner there. So I can promise you that it is completely in vain to try to resist telling us the truth. Isn't that right, Shellsworth? Right as always. Well, let's go ahead and get these hooked up. In order to assist me, I'm going to use just a bit of medical tape. This is going to be removed quite easily. Won't cause you any discomfort and is perfectly suited to hold these nodes securely and comfortably to your temples. As comfortably as we can make it, of course. Why am I doing that? Well, you just leave the detective work and our methods to me. They have their purpose, I assure you. I wouldn't expect someone like you to understand, because all you know is to lie, cheat, steal, things like that. Oh, I'm sure you are just enjoying a stroll with your Pokemon. Now, who wouldn't on a beautiful beach like that? Right, yeah, I'm sure that makes sense. Just sit tight, you might as well get comfortable. We are going to be here a while, and we've got all night, don't we, Shellsworth? That's right. Okay, I'm going to use just a bit of tape here. Let's go ahead and get this removed and prepared to catch you in your life. Yes, you can hear the waves even from in here. It would be so nice to be out there enjoying the ocean, wouldn't it? Instead of trying to be cooped up and stuck, trying to attempt to get away with all of your misdeeds in here. Just going to make sure it's nice and secure. Wouldn't want those nodes to come loose and let you off the hook, would we? We catch plenty like you, right? Sometimes it just takes a bit longer to come to our conclusions, but we always find the answers we're looking for. Alright, if you can just hold still, I'm just going to get that secured right there on that left temple. One moment. All right, next, let's get that right side. And just as before, let's get that nodule nice and placed, securely situated right there on the tape. And like before, please hold still. I don't like to have to repeat this. We prefer to get on to the questioning. Almost have it. All right, next, it's time for the line of questioning. Now, we're going to open up our detective module here and read off these questions. Now, simply answer with one question or answer per question, and one only. So, no feeling us out and throwing out an answer to see how we react and then switching it at the last minute. That will not do. Your first answer and your first answer only will be recorded. So, are you prepared? I bet you are. Well, let's begin. First question. Just one moment, let me pull up the program here. Detective, what was the password for that encryption again? Pretend you don't hear this. Right. Okay. As in Delcatty. Okay. Classic Shellsworth. Alright, first question. Get ready. What is the first Pokemon in the Pokédex not to have an evolution? Do your best to come up with this one. Oh, I can wait. Need to check a few emails anyway. Question 2. You don't get all day to answer. You have to know these right off the top of the head. Any real trainer would. So question 2. What Pokemon is number 250 in the Pokédex? Good luck. Question number 3. What item is used to evolve Poliwhirl into Politoad? Question number 4. What vitamin increases a Pokemon's speed stat? No Rocket Grunt would know such care for Pokemon, so I'm very eager to see what your answer is for this one. Question number 5. What is the tallest non-legendary and non-Dynamax Pokemon? What's that? Oh, you feel like you're doing well. Oh, well, I guess we should just pack it up, right, Shellsworth? Just send them back on their way. I'm sure they're innocent. Right. Good try. Oh, like I said, we're no rookies to this, so just continue with the questioning here. Question number 6. Where was the first fossil of the Pokemon Mew found? Shellsworth, did you see that email from HR? Well, check your emails from time to time. It's marked urgent. Question number 7. What color is the shiny variant of the Pokemon Magikarp? Right, often found off the coast here of the R&R beach. Looks like you definitely know your Pokemon species for the area, no doubt here to steal and poach. Question number 8. What are the 2 types of bikes famously sold in the Hoenn region? Keep your answers to yourself until the end. We'll tell you which ones you got correct, but no shouting out answers. We wouldn't want anyone else in any of the other rooms to have an easy answer to their question. Question number 9. What was the first Pokemon to be described as a balloon? Shellsworth, this urgent email seems to request us to report immediately. This was received about a week ago, so we need to check in with that in the morning. Question number 10. What Pokemon is the arch nemesis of the Pokemon Durant? I'll send them an email reply and let them know that we'll be there at 8 a.m. sharp in the morning. I'm sure it's just to congratulate us on all of our recent apprehensions of all of the dastardly Team Rocket grunts that have been crawling on the beach recently. There's been quite an uptick. Summer season is usually so quiet. And question number 11. Who replaced Koga as the Fuchsia City gym leader? Not much need for gym challenges as a Team Rocket member, is there? I assume not. Question number 12. What Kanto Pokemon can only be male and has no evolutions? Question number 13. What Pokemon is classified as the shellfish Pokemon? Right. I can see we've stumped you with some of these. Not surprised, it's just a matter of time. Question number 14. What Pokemon is said to have characteristics of a jet plane? Not to worry, Shellsworth did all of the fact-checking for these questions himself, so they are all too accurate. Nice try. Question number 15. What Pokemon is said to throw itself off of cliffs in order to get stronger? Question number 16. Name an electric Pokemon in the Kanto region that does not evolve and has no tail. Try that one. Shellsworth, there actually was a follow-up to this email yesterday. Looks like might be a very urgent meeting request for us. I'll continue to look. Not to worry. You focus on your questions. Question number 17. Name an electric Sinnoh Pokemon that does not evolve and has no tail. Question number 18. What Galar region gym leader specializes in grass Pokemon? Question number 19. We are almost to the end of the questioning, so I would not be surprised to see that Pulse Ox spiking and spiking. You are nearly running out of time to deceive. Question number 19. What items can rarely be found in the possession of wild Chansey? And question number 20. What Pokemon uses inanimate objects in order to change form? Only 5 more questions, so please get as comfortable as you need. You might be having an extended stay. Shellsworth, can you double check that for me? Am I reading that correctly? There's not. That can't be right. Oh dear. Right, you're right. Multiple infractions, false accusations, plethora of lawsuits. Yeah, Shellsworth, do you still have the number to that lawyer that you talked to previously? Yeah, that's your last job. Yes, the one you were let go. Okay, yeah, we're gonna probably need to make a call or two. So, we are actually going to postpone the rest of this interrogation let's actually get those nodes off of you. Don't want you to get too uncomfortable. After all, I mean, what's a friendly line of questioning hurt anyone? And that pulse ox. So, we actually have had a few instances crop up in about the last 5 minutes that we really need to address, matters that have come to our attention. So it looks like this might be your lucky day and you've gotten away with your crimes after all. So we're actually going to be able to let you go, and it's best not to mention this to anybody, and in fact it's best to just act as if this whole situation never happened. We wouldn't want you to speak to anyone, especially law enforcement, Officer Jenny, people like that, about this experience here. You wouldn't want to incriminate yourself, that's right, any further. It's best to just consider yourself lucky, take your breaks when you can get them, and just go about your merry way and completely forget this situation. As enjoyable as it was for both of us, it's not at all intimidating or breaking any kind of regulations or anything like that. So let's not get hasty with the accusation. So the door is right behind you. Please don't stop and talk to anyone in or around the precinct. They might want to question you too, so you wouldn't want to get yourself, involved in even more questions or kind of accusations or anything like that this evening, would you? Of course not. You are reasonable, aren't you? All right. Well, please enjoy the rest of your evening and stay out of trouble. And please, out the door there as quickly as you can. And just have a great rest of your evening and do it quickly, please. Shazworth, we're actually going to need to get that lawyer on